And this is now a few days old, but we haven't done a show in a week, Rob. Give me a break. Cut me some slack. We haven't been around. But you guys may have heard, there's been this ongoing drama around AMC Theatres. Long ongoing drama about it, and every movie theater in particular. But, AMC Theatres got themselves in a bad way through no fault of their own. They went about $5 billion into debt, buying and acquiring new theaters, upgrading all those theaters with leather recliners, putting in the prime theaters with the Dolby Atmos and all that kind of stuff. They were really investing a lot into the viewer experience. They invested heavily into getting their AMC A-List project up and running, which is the greatest thing to ever happen to movie fans, in my personal opinion, is the AMC A-List program. Fantastic. They did a lot of work, and then they just started to turn profit on all that investment, and then the pandemic hit. And of course, they've been hit harder than any other chain. Well, as you guys probably heard, there was a bit of a run at the stock market. Rob, I'm going to let you know this. Ann and I, when AMC stock was down around $2, Ann and I thought, I believe it's going to get better. When the theaters open, that's going to go up to like $4. That's going to go up to like $5. So we bought a bunch of stock. You know this because you and I were talking about this through it. So we bought a bunch of stock, and then we woke up one day, saw that the stock was at $17. We thought, yep, we'll take it. That's like almost 9 times our money. So we thought, we cashed out on it. But the stock soared. Now, I'm not going to go into detail here, Rob, because I am not a stock markets expert. There's a lot of information out there about the Reddit group, the Stock Market Bets, I believe is the name of the group. The same kind of phenomena that we saw happen with the GameStop situation, all that kind of stuff. But the one thing that I thought was really interesting, I want to take a note of this, was that Yahoo Finance put out a story on this. And they wrote something that to me was absolutely staggering. It's this. Listen to this. The stock has now erased all of last year's losses. Listen to this again. This is a statement of impossibility. The stock, AMC stock rise, has now erased all of 2020's financial losses for AMC Theatres. The theater operator is still grappling with financial fallout from the pandemic-led closures of its cinemas, of course, and all that kind of stuff. And as of right now, today, the AMC stock, you see a live tracker here, is up 6% on the day. It's still lower than what Ann and I sold our stock at, but we were totally happy with it. I hope it keeps going up for everybody else who's holding onto the stock, which is interesting. But what they were able to do, Rob, was AMC parlayed the rise in stock to sell off a new round of A-list stock, and they raised an additional over $300 million more dollars in a day to go around with a new line of credit that they just acquired. And now AMC CEO, who I actually don't believe is very good at his job, but the new CEO of AMC Theatres now saying, no more bankruptcy talk for us. He's saying we're solid till like the end of 2021. We're good for like another year. And that's if things don't get better. They said we're good for another year. It is crazy how fast things turn around. Now, Rob, this is not a financial talk show, but I will just say this quickly. The response of entities like Robinhood, the stock sharing app, and a couple of others, they weren't the only one, but they're the most notable, who at the behest of their corporate hedge fund company masters, told them, stop selling the stock to people. Yeah. And they said, all you could do if you're an AMC stockholder now was sell your stock. You couldn't buy it anymore. Which to me, there has to be a criminal investigation. This needs to be prosecuted because they, through collusion, manipulated the market. Because guess what happens, Rob? Here's a little base on the stock market. When a stock can't be bought and can only be sold, guess what that forces the stock to do? Go down. This was criminal. It was absolutely criminal. And I think through a lot of pressure, they've now opened back up trading on these things, and it is what it is. And again, we're not market analysts here. I don't want to go into all that. I just want to kind of focus on the angle of the story here that AMC got a huge boost from this. And by the way, Rob, even if the stock completely tanks tomorrow, even if the stock goes back down to like $2 a share, AMC's got their money. they're set, they're secure. I mean, at least for another year, they're kind of set and ready to go, which, you know, for somebody who is a movie going experience kind of fan, this was glorious sound to my ears. Anyway, Rob, you heard about this whole situation. What's your take on all this?
Well, you know, I talked about this a little. I mean, in a nutshell, a bunch of, you know, Redditors got together and decided to buy a stock. Now, the whole point of a company like Robinhood, it exists in order to put hedge funds and investors in front of the everyman. Because when Robinhood sees people buying stocks, they report that information to their hedge fund minders. So it really, when people are using these kinds of apps, it assures that they'll never have any kind of a great windfall because their information is being reported so people can make trades in front of them. But what happened was that when enough people band together and decide to do something, strength in numbers, they basically stormed the gates and caused all of these shorts, these stocks that were well, not all of these, but it was GameStop how it began. It was a shorted stock, which is game playing anyway. They beat Wall Street at its own game, cost them billions and I read $70 billion. All of these shenanigans cost hedge funds. And they drove up the stock of AMC. They drove up the stock of GameStop. And a lot of people made, like you, John, you benefited.
I did.
You benefited
complain.
Tremendously. Like you said, you turned around within a year. You made 800% of whatever of your investment. Epic win for you. Epic win for you and the family. Epic win for someone like yourself who is a new homeowner. You know, a lot of that money went to defray costs of your move and buying a home and all that. That's an amazing thing to have happen. It also shows, like you pointed out, just how corrupt. I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism. The problem is our capitalism is not true capitalism. It's massively corrupt capitalism. And I'm not saying we should be socialist or communist because I don't believe in that either. But capitalism works very, very well when it's a free market. We're supposed to have a free market. That's the whole basis of our entire economy. But it's not. We saw what happens in 2008. We have all these people. The more money you have, the more games you can play with the entire economy. And these are people that were stormed at the gates by the Visigoths, like in Rome. They had no idea it was coming. And like you said, Robinhood stopped the people using their app from doing what they're supposed to do, which is buy stock. But because a bunch of hedge funds didn't anticipate it, it's really, I think if we really needed a litmus test on where the United States is as a country, this exactly sells it. It's like remember the movie Tucker with Jeff Bridges?
Oh yes.
I love Tucker. He designed this car. He bested the Detroit car makers with something that was better than they had built, and he was destroyed for it. It's the oldest tale in the world. You wield the economic power, you can destroy the little guy, and that's what happened here.
Well, and I think to me, there's something I've been saying for years, and I know I've gotten a lot of pushback on it, but I completely believe this. I've been saying for years that I believe the entire practice of shorting should be illegal. Like, the idea of the stock market is great. You see a product you believe in, you think it has a future, you invest into that, and if it does well, you reap benefits. If it doesn't, you sustain losses. That's the basic heart of capitalism. The whole idea of shorting, betting on something's failure, the idea that you're putting money on something's failure, which opens the door to just the very fact that a big hedge fund would short massively on a stock, that influences the rest of the market. And it creates a thing where it's artificially lowers the stock price of that. It's basically corporate collusion in many ways. The impropriety that is open up, and I know there's a lot of things it feels like I'm talking about Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd at this point. But the whole idea of shorting to me should be outlawed. It should be banned. It should be wiped off. And I never hope for people to lose all their money. I don't hope for anybody to lose their life savings or to lose their job. Not at all. But I'd be lying if I didn't say there's a part of me that's like, I don't feel sorry for people who just lost a ton of money because they were investing in the failure, in the hoping for failure of other companies. Yeah. I just don't feel sorry for them. It's hard for me to. Anyway, guys, we've gone on to this long enough. The question is for you. How happy are you? Probably not quite as happy as me, but how happy are you about maybe this was a massive lifeline for AMC Theatres in general? Guys, what do you guys think about it all? Jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.